everybody. I'm Sean Hammond with PremierGuitar.com. We're at Summer NAMM 2011 at the Samick booth with designer Greg Bennett. Greg, how's it going?
Yeah, it's just going disturbingly well. Things are really good these days, and again, this show, I've been at every one since 1973, and it just never ceases to amaze me. The ultimate candy store here for guitar players, you know. Dangerous if you've never been.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, you've got a couple of new guitars. Well, one has been around for a while, the Torino, but you've tweaked it quite a bit, enough to sort of make it a new model. Why don't you tell us about what's going on?
Yeah, we've done some things cosmetically, but the thing I really love about this is if you can take something that you change aesthetically and then also leverage the mechanics to actually make the sound. In other words, get a better sonic performance out of it. That's a lot of fun. And this type of guitar has been around this sort of style for decades, and you know, they're usually kind of thin, right, and made out of mahogany or natto, and they always have a very long neck. So the thing that people love about it is it's kind of a very warm, rich sound. The neck flexes a lot, and so does the body, so you get a lot of bottom. Some people call it a brown sound, but there's a lot of harmonic content. The problem, and that's what we kind of addressed here, is very often if you're playing in a band with a couple guitar players or maybe a keyboard player, it's hard to get definition, you know, because tone, that warmth, it makes it hard to cut through. And I think we've really made some advances. So just to run through the guitar from top to bottom, and then I'll give you the features and then let you know what we did to improve it. I kind of made the headstock just a little bit smaller because the smaller that resonant surface, the less energy you're going to take off the string, okay? I mean, if something's moving on the guitar, where's the energy coming from, right? The string. So you're going to have hotter attack and hotter sustain. And also when you make it shorter, that distance from the string to the nut, when you reduce that length, you also create more bearing pressure down on the nut, which again means less energy is going to sort of dribble over that nut and be lost. Again, the string is hot. We put about 14, normally these are about 12, 14 degree headstock angles, that's what's typical. We moved it all the way to about 17. So this string is on fire. And also, we kind of make the gears converge a bit, so that you have a little bit of it's not perfect, but kind of a straight pull. You know, that ping you get when you're tuning, you kind of eliminate some of that. Also, what's really cool, these necks are really long and fully exposed. And so when you hit a string, you get a lot of flex. And the minute you have that flex, in other words, the lack of rigidity, you're pulling energy off the string, which, as we talked earlier, that's what kills that definition or articulation. So we made it a three-piece neck, and what we do in that case, what's cool about it is you reverse the grain pattern. So, you know, if a piece of wood wants to warp this way, and right next to it's another piece of wood that wants to do the opposite, it's sort of like a self-leveling or stabilizing quality right within the neck. So that's going to give you a little more fire, sustain, attack. Also, these guitars, typically the fingerboard ends up about here, literally north of the body. I moved it into the body, thickened up the heel, and that gives you more support too. So the neck is not as flexible. It's not, again, acting like that shock absorber. And a kind of another cool little side benefit to this, these guitars are 24 3/4 scale, and you know, most of the other guitars are 25.5 that you find, a lot of the Floyd type guitars. Well, that little shorter scale means you need less tension to get the string up to pitch. So people that bend a lot love it. The thing I think is really cool is if you drop tune like a half step or full step, you can actually put a little heavier gauge string on it because you've dropped tune. It still feels real soft on the hand, killer bends, but you get a much thicker sound because, well, yeah, it's more taut, but also think about it, this is a magnetic pickup. What makes the sound? When you run that string, that iron, through that magnetic field, that's where the power comes from. So you have a thicker string, you're putting more iron in the magnetic field. So great feel, tremendous bending. The new neck position and material and headstock angle give us just tremendous cut and bite. So you get all that wonderful warmth. Again, Duncan design pickups, full volume and tone controls. You get all that warmth and tone, but you get tremendous cut.
All right, Greg, now you guys have another new model here. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, this is, again, so obviously based on the other guitar. The big difference being this is one of those tomato, piezo, piezo things. I call it sapele. It's like a striped mahogany. The body is natto, which is very much like mahogany, but we went to that sapele top. The cool thing here, though, 3 mini double coil pickups, and 2 things come out of this that's really cool. In order to use the 5-way blade switch so that we could blend those 2 pickups together and get that kind of out of phase sound, we had to make the body a little thicker, maybe about 5 millimeters. So again, it's just got a little more robust feel. It's a little heftier, especially in the low end, you get that feeling. But then again, you're able to get this tremendous amount of tonal variance between the bridge pickup, out of phase together. You know, you all know this, but just makes for a really cool sort of hybrid approach. And you know, one of the things I love about it is there's so many cool things on the market, amplifiers and guitars, and so many options. But if you really pull back and think, how much of that do you really use? You know what I mean? Well, you can do all of this, and it's wonderful, but how much really can you utilize in your band or in the studio? And this is one of those things where everything is like, the depressing thing about the guitar is you want to use all the tones, you know? So, and then don't forget this lovely new sort of saber-tooth inlay we did.
Cool.
Trying to get away from some of the more, you know, the dated things that other people frankly have done, so.
Why don't we hear that? Greg, thank you so much for showing us the new guitars, and we appreciate Steve playing them for us. Where can people go to find out more about them online?
Well, it's real easy. Just go to gregbennettguitars.com and you'll see the full assortment of product. Really cool website. And of course, there's a dealer listing of all the places you can go in the country to have one of our wonderful dedicated independent dealers set you up with the guitar you need. And before I really part here, I really just want to thank you guys, not just for Greg Bennett and Samick, but for the industry. Your magazine has been a tremendous asset, the most wonderful sort of conduit to get to players that really care. All of the reviews and things are really honest and well thought out, but just to be able to watch that magazine grow after almost 40 years in this industry, it really is exciting, and I have to congratulate you guys on just doing a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Well, thanks again, Greg.
All right.
Have a great show. I'm Sean Hammond. Thanks for watching PremierGuitar.com.